Hello crafty friends, it is that time of year, it is Valentine's season, or at least it is fast approaching, and if you are in the craft world, we've got to start these things early for our handmade gifts. So today I'm going to be using some felt in red and white. You can pick this up really inexpensively from your local craft store, or you can also get it on Amazon, and I'll have links in the description below. And I have this beautiful heart die that I've actually used in a previous video on my channel, and I'm going to go ahead and run that through my die cut machine. It cuts this felt beautifully, and it also adds these little stitching details around the outside edge, so you can go ahead and take these and stitch them up and create a really fun kind of plushy heart. I'm going to take this one step further, and I have die cut a whole bunch of these, and I am going to coordinate the colours. Now, unfortunately, I did not have any red twine in my collection, so I ended up using black, but you could definitely use red in place of where I've used the black, and I think that would look just lovely, but I'm really happy with how this turned out anyway. And the first thing that I did with each of these hearts is to add the opposing colour onto the front. And then I went ahead and stitched the two hearts together. I didn't do anything fancy for the stitching. You can see I'm just pushing my needle in from the back through to the front and then going to the back again, and it creates this lovely stitching detail with the diagonal all around the outside of your heart. And then I'm adding a small amount of toy stuffing. Again, I'll have a link in the description below to the one that I'm using, and just stitched up the rest of this piece. You can definitely do a fancier stitch, and I started with the intention of doing a blanket stitch, and then I realized that would take me a little bit too long for all of these pieces. Maybe you're faster at stitching than I am, maybe you were better prepared and didn't have to get this done on a deadline, but I just kept this really basic stitch and stitched a whole bunch of these. So now I have a needle that is threaded with some doodlebug twine, and this is red and white. I definitely could have used this for my stitching as well, but I didn't realize I had it when I started my stitching. So I'm taking my needle and I am threading through those existing stitching holes, which means that I can move these hearts up and down the twine, and this piece of twine has been measured to fit over my fireplace mantle. So I am creating here a heart-shaped garland, which will be a beautiful Valentine's decoration, and it's going to help to fill a space. We decorate our homes for Christmas, or at least I certainly do, and all the decorations come down in January, and then everything looks a little bit sad and miserable, so I'm hoping that this brings a pop of colour back to my living room. So once I've threaded everything onto this piece of twine, I'll tie a knot at either end, and then I'll work on getting even spacing. So I'm not doing anything fancy here, I'm just using the grid lines on my mat to help me place each of those hearts an equal distance away from each other so that my garland will hang nicely, and I can definitely adjust this once it's hung if I think something looks a little bit off, but it's nice to start from a point that you think is going to work. So here we have it. I have hung the garland and lit a fire, and everything is looking beautiful once again. My Valentine got in one of these pictures. This is Dexter. If you haven't already met him, he features on my Instagram sometimes. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope you're inspired to create your own DIY felt plushy decorations for Valentine's, or you can make these into keyrings like I did in a previous video and give them to your Valentine. That's all from me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.